second grade. Welcome to Wit and Wisdom, lesson 18. Today we are going to look at the author's purpose for the text, The Vegetables We Eat. We are also going to be looking at what a process is and what the process of growing a garden looks like. So again, looking at the text, The Vegetables We Eat by Gail Gibbons. Let's start out by thinking about this question. What does author's purpose mean? We've talked about this before. When we're asking, what is the author's purpose of a text? What are we asking? Yeah, we're asking to tell why the author wrote the book. So what is their reason for writing a book? When we talk about purpose, authors write books for many different reasons. They might write a book to entertain or to make readers laugh. They might write a book to teach new things. They might write a book to explain how to do something. They might explain why or how something happens, or they might write a book to describe an experience. So today we're going to think about what is Gail Gibbons' purpose in writing the book, The Vegetables We Eat. So if we are taking a look at some of the pages in the text, you'll notice that there are several headings in the text. So the headings that you see on these pages are the things in the yellow boxes. So a lot of times in a text, a heading can be like the title of a new chapter, or it can just be like some big bold words that start a new section. So here you'll see leaf vegetables, bulb vegetables, and flower bud vegetables. So when we're looking at leaf vegetables, it says we eat the leaves of these vegetables. So there is bib lettuce, red leaf lettuce, iceberg lettuce, romaine lettuce, so different types of lettuce. Over here, some other leaf vegetables, cabbage, watercress, parsley, Brussels sprouts, spinach. Tap your head if you've ever tried any of those foods. I've tried most of them, actually. Not a huge fan of Brussels sprouts, but I'll eat them. Down here, bulb vegetables, white Spanish onion, some other onions, yellow onion, red onion, sweet Vidalia onion, leeks, scallions. So it says we eat the bulbs of these vegetables that grow beneath the ground. And then over here, flower bud vegetables, white snowball cauliflower, other cauliflowers, cheddar cauliflower. Sounds like it would be a cheese. It isn't. It's just because of the color. Purple head cauliflower, and then other bud vegetables, artichokes and broccoli. So if you've ever tried some of those vegetables, give me a me too. Yeah. So lots of different vegetable types. Thinking about the headings on these pages, why would the author want to tell us about this? So what is the author's purpose for writing pages with these headings? So if you look here, there's a few more. Root vegetables, tuber vegetables, stem vegetables. It says the roots of these vegetables are eaten, they grow beneath the ground. The edible part of these vegetables, the tuber, grows beneath the ground. The stems of these vegetables are eaten. Some stem vegetables are called perennials. What is the point? When we're thinking about these pages that the author is sharing with us, full of beautiful illustrations, talking about different vegetable types, what's the point? What's the purpose or the meaning for writing about this? Do you think the purpose for writing the pages with those headings is A, the author wanted to tell us about her favorite vegetables, B, the author wanted to teach us about different kinds of vegetables, or C, the author wants us to think that vegetables are the best food? Think in your brain. Get your answer. If you said B, give me a thumbs up. Yes, the purpose for writing this part of the book was to teach us something. Gail Gibbons, the author, wanted to teach us about different kinds of vegetables. Great job. So now we're going to switch gears just a little bit, and I want us to think about the word process. There's a really important piece in this text all about the process of something, and we need to know what a process is first. So what is a process, if you've ever heard the word process? A process is when you go through steps in order. It is something that usually happens kind of slowly, not all right away. And it's when there is a beginning and an end to something happening. So I will give you an example of one of my favorite processes. Making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If you like sandwiches, any kind of sandwiches, tap your head for me. Good. So a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is just one kind of sandwich, but there's a process to making it. You need to get your slices of bread, open up your peanut butter, spread it on, put that away, get your jelly, spread that on, put that away, and then smash the pieces of bread together and eat it. Those are the steps that you follow in order to complete the process. There's a beginning, the starting point, and then that end point, which my favorite part because it's the most delicious because you get to eat it. There are other things that are processes. If you think way back to when we were in school together, in the morning after breakfast, the process of tucking in your chair, of picking up your trash, putting it in the trash bin, of walking to your spot on the carpet for morning meeting. All of those things that we did in the classroom, those were types of processes, okay? So when you go through steps in order. So one of the types of a process that Gail Gibbons is trying to show us in this story is how to grow your own vegetable garden. So you can see that there's in the illustration many different steps, and then she also tells us about that. So I'm going to go ahead and read that process to you. When it gets warm enough, many people enjoy planting, growing, and later harvesting their own vegetables. Most often they buy packets of seeds that have directions. Some people plant starter plants, also called seedlings. Most of the time, vegetable seeds or starter plants are planted in straight rows or circles. So you can see fertilizers are substances added to the soil, which is the dirt, as food for plants. A shovel may be used to turn over the soil, or a rake may be used to smooth the soil so it's ready for planting. So it looks like you have to get the soil ready. You have to dig holes, make nice straight rows. Sometimes string or sticks are used to help plant straight rows or support climbing plants. When seeds are planted in a circle and covered with a mound of soil, the mound is called a hill. So these are different styles of planting the seeds. And then here, if you've ever gone to a garden store or planted flowers, you might have starter plants or seedlings. So instead of it being a seed, it's already sprouted a little bit. It's a little baby plant. And then a trowel is used to dig small holes for seeds and seedlings. So you get your soil ready, dig your hole in the soil, and drop in your seeds or plants. So the heading is how to grow your own vegetable garden. That's also the process that we're learning about. And it looks like it continues over here. It says the garden must be weeded and watered regularly. So you have to add water, of course, to get your seeds to grow. And you have to keep weeds out of the way so that the sun can reach the plant to help it grow. So that looks like the next step of the process. Once you've dug the hole and you get the seed in there, then you have to make sure you give it water and weed it. At the end, it says in cities, people may grow vegetables in containers. So you can see that these are big vegetables now. This is like later on in the process. Okay. I actually just planted a couple vegetables on the balcony of my apartment yesterday. I planted a tomato and a pepper. Here we go, the last part of the process. The vegetable plants will become bigger until they are ready for harvesting. Take a look at these illustrations. What do you think it means when they say harvesting? Yeah, it means picking the vegetables, getting ready to use them to be eaten. So you get your soil ready, dig a hole in the soil, put in your seed or seedling. Then what does your seed or seedling need? Water. And then you have to weed it and take care of it. And then pretty soon it grows big and it produces the vegetables, and you can pick them or harvest them to get ready to eat them. So that is the process of growing your own garden. But what is the author's purpose for writing that. Why would the author write how to grow your own vegetable garden? Why would Gail Gibbons want to do that? Because she wanted to teach us about the process of growing a garden. Maybe she really likes gardening, or because the author thinks we all have to grow gardens. Which one do you think? Yeah, absolutely. It's the first one. The author wanted to teach us about the process of growing a garden. So again, when you think about author's purpose, this text is really trying to teach us things. We are learning about different types of vegetables. We are learning about the process of growing gardens. And she doesn't stop there with just growing a small garden. This one says great big vegetable farms, and you can see that there are differences in this style of gardening. In the first pictures we looked at, people were doing all of the work, but if you look here, there's a tractor, and this is something called an irrigation system. It's big sprinklers that go along the fields to water the plants. So farmers fertilize the soil, and then the fields are plowed, harrowed, and planted. They use tractors with these parts to do all of that. People are not doing that because the fields are much bigger. So these are big vegetable farms. Big sprinkler systems are used to water the vegetable plants. At the end of the growing season, the vegetables are harvested. Again, sometimes people will pick them, but other times the tractor will hook up to this big machine and they will harvest or pick all of the vegetables. So if you've ever seen a big tractor in a field going through like a cornfield, they're picking the corn using that tractor and big combine, it's called. So why would the author show us that? Why would Gail Gibbons write the pages, great big vegetable farms? This one's a little tricky. There's actually a couple of reasons. The author wanted to show us how big farms can grow vegetables. And the author wanted to show us different ways that we can grow vegetables. I myself in my apartment am growing vegetables in little pots. Some people get plots of land ready in their yards and they do it all by hand. Some people work on farms and they use big tractors and other farm implements to grow huge gardens, to grow huge fields of vegetables. So there's really different ways that you can get gardens, that you can get vegetables. So putting all of what we've learned together today, what did all of the headings on the pages have in common? What were they all talking about? Get your answer in your brain? They all relate to the main topic of vegetables. The author wanted to teach us something. She wanted to teach us all about vegetables, the different types that there are, and the process of growing them, that there's more than one way that you can grow them. So this is definitely a teaching book. The purpose of Gail Gibbons' book was to teach us about vegetables. Great job today, second grade. I do want to show you your work before we are done here. So you're going to open up your Google form, and the question today says, select the picture that is the first step in the process of growing a garden. So if you need to remember the process, go back into the video on the pages where we talked about how to grow a garden and think, what was the first thing that we had to do? So here's A. Looks like this is the tool called a trowel, digging in the soil. B. Looks like a little plant or seedling has popped up. C. Looks like somebody's putting seeds into the soil. And D. Looks like you have a plant and it's getting watered. Which one of these is the first step in the process of growing a garden? Is it A, B, C, or D? Remember, when you're done, to submit your answers, and you only have to submit that work one time. We will get your responses. So put your name in, click who your classroom teacher is, and then go ahead and answer that question. Great job, second grade, figuring out the author's purpose in this text, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.